Come on, you know the rule. It's never the CPU until it is. Alright, we're back on this. I already started, but that's what happens when you thought you hit record and you didn't. Let's jump right in. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We're gonna flip over to our camera. This is the mock-up that we had, which was no power. So I still have that mock-up on the system, or on the bench. And we're going to continue on here. So what I'm going to do, we have the thermal camera up. Let me go ahead and pop it up as well. And let's see. So we can see thermal camera working. We're going to look at the board and we're going to flip power on real quick. So you can see right there we got a hot spot and a hot spot. As soon as power comes on, our LEDs are working, but those hot spots are going to be our Super I/O, and then looks like some type of voltage regulator. Let's go ahead and throw our macro lens on and go in and take a look at these. So there's our Super I/O chip, and there's that voltage regulator. So one or the other has a short. I'm betting a dead Super I/O. Let's go ahead and turn power off, and we can see that that is still pretty hot. Let me get the macro lens off. So let's flip power back on, and compared to me, keeping my hand in frame, you can see those are some serious hot spots. Another one's down here under this shield, but not near as hot as those right there. So, alright, let's put this camera away. This is the customer's good board. Come on, get off of there. Take that off, leave the thermal pad on there. What we're going to do is, in preparation for this, as I said, I started recording, and I already had the thermal camera out once. I removed the Super I/O chip. This is another board that I have here, an identical board. Everything's all ripped off of it because it's a dead board. It's basically donor. I did pull the Super I/O chip off, so I have that ready to go. And now, that's right about then is when I noticed that recording wasn't recording. So we're going to go ahead and pull off this voltage regulator. Alright. Donor board officially out of the way. Let's go back to this view. I hate starting a job where you think you're recording and then you're not. And it's like the first little bit of it doesn't feel genuine because you're redoing it, you know? It just... Okay, so there, right here, I think this is an LDO, low voltage regulator. If I had to guess, it's doing something like that. We're going to go ahead and pull that one off of there. So we're going to throw some hot air on here. Keep the one that we want on out of the way. And we'll blast some hot air on that one. Hopefully not catch our box on fire since the edge of it's right there. Alright. Scrap one off. Let's go ahead and get the replacement off the donor board ready. We should throw some leaded solder on there just so it melts at a lower temp. I think we'll get away with it without. Come on, cheapo, I believe in you. Melt the solder already. Melt the solder, cheapo. I know you can do it. Alright, and just to make it make sure we have a good connection. Not that I don't trust hot air, I do. We're going to come in with our iron. And just hit those connections while holding down on the chip. I'm going to say that is definitely connected. Alright, let's get some IPA on there. Clean that off. Alright, this is where it gets fun. And not at all, really. This is going to help solder flow. Also, might I add, we're going to take this little metal shield and put it on the PCIe 1X slot and then put a quarter on top of it just to weigh it down. Come on, man. Let me pick this thing up in one go. Oh, exactly what I didn't want to happen. Happens. How many components did we knock off? None, thankfully. Yes, none. Let's check the underside of the Super IO just to make sure we didn't rake some components off. And we didn't. Alright, let's get that whole area cleaned up. And figure out what kind of mess we made for ourselves. 3. Oh my, are you kidding me? 3 traces I see are gone. 1, 2, 3. So let's look. I don't see the one on the bottom, so it must have just lifted with my iron. I do see the one on the edge there, right on the edge of the chip. Do you see it? Right there. That one. So we have 2 there, 1 there. Let's get the area cleaned up so we can see what we're working with. This just turned into a bigger job. In the meantime, I'm going to put my tweezers on here to hold this in place, and we're just going to take and legit just drag down these, letting that solder flow. What is the verdict? Alright, turn power on. No smoke. No heat. Whew. Doesn't mean it's working. Doesn't mean nothing. It just has life. We have some type of hope. There we are. Motherboard. Yes! Motherboard came to life. I really hope those legs are not connected. I could not find a connection. Fingers crossed with me. Pray with me. I could not see no connection, so we're gonna go with it. Yeah. Let's power down this test bench that we were doing work on, and let's get it back in the customer's tower. How's that sound? I like that idea. All right, so one of the problems with this build was there were no standoffs. So let's and the wrong, if you remember part 1, no standoffs, and the motherboard was screwed down with the screws that go through rubber grommets and mount hard drives. And they screw into the bottom of the hard drive through a rubber grommet to mount the hard drive like anti-vibration style. Yeah, not the right screws for motherboard. Okay, I don't know how audio got muted, but if you can't see, this is a terrible, terrible outcome. We have glitched. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da. That's not what we want. I'm gonna call this board done. I will do a BIOS flash on it, and that will be about it. Get out of here. But it seems like it's gonna work, possibly. I don't know. Different screens do different things. Splash screen, boot screen. This is gonna have to undergo a full range of testing before it is confirmed ready to go. If not, board replacement is the only option. Startup screen, you can see that, so we're gonna end it there. But I have to go. I do appreciate each and every person that comes in to check this out. Is this a win? I don't know. We're gonna stress test the hell out of this motherboard and try to find out why it's scrambled for the splash screen. That I don't know. We'll figure that out. That does happen with some motherboards on my HDMI KVM. I don't know if that's the case, but we'll find out. Anyhow, if you're new here, my name's Nick. Thank you for tuning in and resolving part 2 of this no power motherboard today. Much love, people, always, for dealing with the hot messes that come across this bench, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you to all my mods, the people that show up, click the links, leave likes, comment, the interaction during the live streams. If you make it to my rare live streams, eternally grateful. Thank you. We'll see you soon.